Probably gonna get censored on YouTube for nudity. That's how they do this shit.
Cracking me up.
There's a scene from a movie where I heard this song, and that's what I remembered when I thought of this song like a week ago.
Oh, that's perfect. Happens. Happens to me. What happens to me?
It's a goofy scene. You ever see Jay and Silent Bob movies?
Yeah.
It's from one of the movies. So yeah,
But
it's a retarded scene.
It's tasteful.
Huh?
It's tasteful.
It's one of those Jay, he goes to rehab and he comes back, so he's sober, but then he's outside of this restaurant, he tucks his dick back and he's like naked. And so then they come out of the convenience store and he's there dancing to this song, and Silent Bob is just there smoking a cigarette. He's doing this is weird. It's a weird scene, but the song is good. Yeah, it's not.
You're funny in your mind. I want to just explore
Okay,
you.
all right. Okay, that's enough. Enough of that. This will just be short. It could be short. Why is this? Okay. All right, this could be short. Oh, I guess I could do little Instagram.
Well, thanks.
Goodbye, horses.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so start here. What's up, Instagram? I'm just going to give you a little piece of my mind about this real quick, and then I got to go. Starting the first unofficial classes of the Warrior Arts Center today. So I'll be getting a gi and learning some jujitsu. Those are the official gi jujitsu, and some other, elbows, knees, eye gouging, groin smashing, toe crunching, whatever else applies in street self-defense, fish hooks, and then there'll be some other things there. It's yoga, probably. I don't know if people are gonna show up. I'll sell it. I'll probably teach yoga. I'll call it beast yoga. And it's gonna be very similar to like the streams. So I don't have like new techniques to teach. There are maybe some things that little innovations, but then there's also a reality of not explaining it too much lately, because I haven't taught much in the last 3 years. So and I've seen this happen with many yoga practitioners. That's why I wanted to get into teaching, honestly. It's a strange thing. A lot of people, they do like yoga for like 2 months, 3 months. They're all about it. And like, I'm going to become a teacher. And I had done it for 4 years. Just like it was the only thing saving me from insanity with my PhD, coming off of drugs. I was just real twisted up, antisocial. Like yoga was that thing, and guitar. But guitar was so sensational with drugs. I would use drugs to play the guitar. Yoga sometimes, but I discovered pretty early on that drugs didn't improve my yoga experience. Like I would lose balance easier. I would lose my breath easier. I would even hurt myself more because I wouldn't receive the pain signals the same way. So I would be like, you get a shirt. You're so stupid. I can't even talk. She's so distracted. Retard. Thank you.
Vascularity, and you look so sexy.
Okay, let me cover up for everybody. I'm about to get censored on all these platforms. Bitches can have OnlyFans links in their Instagram bios and show their thongs and booty shaking, and that's fine. But guy takes his shirt off. It's because there's a war against masculinity,
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also a war against white people. So if you're a white man, it's really fucked up. And if you're a white man and you're straight, dang, that's even worse. Like if you were a gay white man, you'd get a lot less hate than a straight white man. And if you were a straight white man and you're a Christian, oh man. And if you're a straight white American man, Christian, that's like the most vilified person on earth. I swear to God. No, it's not Native Americans, it's not Indians, it's not Chinese, it's not Japanese, it's not women, definitely. It's not Buddhists, it's not Muslims. No.
Witches are up there.
Where do you see witches is like cool to say. It's cool to be a witch. Every bitch is like a witch. But where is like, no, it's not cool to be a straight white male Christian American. No, that's the worst. I swear to God, everyone on earth has been programmed to hate the straight white male American Christian.
Yeah.
That's exactly there. That's the acknowledgement. So
Yeah.
straight white male Christian American takes off his shirt, censor him, you know. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh, warrior arts. So I'll teach beast yoga. I see the way I see my schedule being, it's going to be tough because there's going to be a lot of new things happening. So my schedule is about to get tighter. And it's already tight. So since there'll be a street defense class, I think 8 p.m. on Mondays and Tuesdays, I'll probably get in the habit of teaching beast yoga. The center is supposed to officially open on July 1st in a few days. So this is just an unofficial class, just friends going by and maybe some new early signups or whatever. And then probably on Saturday and Sunday, I think I'll teach wrestling. And I don't know what time, maybe morning, maybe afternoon. Eventually we'll get a crash pad, but we don't need that right now. So it's a very thick pad, like maybe a foot that you can throw. And so you can literally just jump on it on your head and you won't hurt yourself. So that's how we'll learn to throw. Because when you learn how to throw, you really mess up a lot. And so you want definitely a pad. And then with the yoga, it's going to be very supplementing for that. And not going to be like vinyasa classes and like regular yoga studio classes, because the people that show up, every now and then you might get somebody that's done some yoga and would want something like that. That's not what I want to teach. I'm sure I'll teach some flows, some different things. Mostly I see the guys that I live with and what would be good for them. That's literally what comes to mind. Like, what am I going to do for their shoulders, their hands? They're all busy too, and they're not going to watch my yoga videos, but I'll whatever I have, that's good. It's a great offering.
Yeah. Are you gonna charge for these?
Yeah. I mean, not my housemates, whatever. You give me the kombucha.
Of course.
Yeah, there's a overall membership for the center that you could attend all classes, and then I probably won't separate the wrestling from the yoga.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. It depends on how easy the payment system, because they have like a computer system for it. So maybe the yoga I'll do like, $57 a month to come to all the yoga classes, and there's 4 1/3 weeks in a month. So that's going to be like 8 or 9 yoga classes a month.
Mhm.
So if someone did come to all of
With
those,
wrestling or
no, I would do it separate, because there might be some people that want the yoga, not the wrestling. It's not exactly like similar at all. I would do something combined. Like there might be some guys that would want the yoga and the wrestling, and so maybe it would be like $97 a month for all of them, anything with Yogi Chris, $97 a month. Anything for the whole center, any of the instructors, $197 or something. So just depends on what they want. If I'm consistent on my schedule, so like 7 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, beast yoga, which is, I might even change. I mean, the concept of it is going to be just all the physical therapy and whatever.
Yeah.
There's something I really want to get into that I haven't yet. It's called, did I bring it up? The hashtag Kinstretch. Hashtag Kinstretch. You might check it out on Instagram. I knew about this years ago, and I adopted a couple of movements from them. Like there is a movement, if you remember in the old silent flute lectures, where you lay on your belly with your arm out like this and you lift your
I
wrist.
just did that the other day.
That's a Kinstretch movement, actually. I got it from watching their Instagram stuff.
Mhm.
And I saw how that was an activation of serratus plus other things.
Yeah.
And so a lot of their movements are get your joints at the end range of motion. Like most people, when they lay down, belly down with like field goal post arms, they don't have much more to go.
Yeah.
They could get a little bit of chest stretch or maybe lift up a little bit, but they're pretty much, they're already feeling the stretch probably.
Right.
So then to actively go further is like this very end range of motion activated stretch. And all of their movements are like that around the hip, and they've created some interesting things that with me and my muscle activation experience, I'm like, I'm seeing a lot in what they're doing. And you know, so they have online programs. I haven't researched too much, but I've seen, like, I looked into it, and it's like I would pay $200-300 like you did with face yoga or something, like to have just a concise compilation instead of trying to learn from all the Instagram videos, you know. And I think that would be very good for fighters and people that are, they're like, what am I going to teach? Warrior poses and down dogs and things. I can teach those poses, and I think they would be useful.
Yeah.
But I think more than a flow of vinyasa flow for those people that, you know, I would be interested. I have so many techniques, and I can learn more techniques that are individual techniques that a person can use to help themselves. Like vinyasa flow has its place. Like I rode my bike to the park. It was like, it's like 4.5 miles, the one I went to. So I was kind of a macro. So actually, that was something I was going to talk about. I went to the Bikram yoga. It was kind of weird. I felt weird about it actually afterwards. I've gone there like 120 times or something in the last 6 months. But I went there and none of my guys were there. And I kind of knew that before going in because I didn't see anybody's cars. But for some reason, I went in anyway because there's just some, I wanted to be sure. And then like I wanted to do yoga. I had a couple of like mixed ideas. And so this is the part that I went in, I checked in, I laid down my mat. I'm front row. It was filled, but there was like one spot, and that's like of the few spots, that was the best one. And I'm a lot of times front row, but it's like there, you know, there's women all around me and everything, and they see me, and my body's getting better too. I'm looking less and less like a yogi, more like just some warrior guy that's coming in to do yoga. But they also all know my yoga's dope, so I'm becoming like a really loud avatar character there. But none of my guys are there, and I'm not particularly fond of Bikram yoga. It has a place. I would do it sometimes. The other day, I think it was maybe after my first or second day at the gym, and I go light at the gym, like not super light, like pathetically light, but the first set is very light, like the lowest setting, and I'm doing it real slow, and I'm making sure the joint warms up because I don't like being sore. That's not my MO. And I'm doing other things, you know, that's how injuries will happen. It says you're sore and fatigued, and then you're doing jujitsu or yoga or whatever, and your strength isn't there. And so I don't need to push like that anymore. Maybe it'll build up as everything builds up slowly. But that's the other thing, is if I got really strong fat, let's say bench press, and I get strong at bench press real fast and everything develops, there's a lot of smaller muscles in the rotator cuff and whatever that if my mind isn't using the muscles in the right proportions, that keeps the joint balanced, because that's not how we're thinking. We're just thinking, push the weight, and but subscapularis isn't involved, or we may be like relying on supraspinatus, or pec minor, and then serratus turned off, and so the shoulder blade's winging out. We're just trying to push the weight, and so we end up, wearing on the joint in some way that. And I'm not young anymore, like young. And, I have a lot of joint wear. So it's like immediately I start feeling it. Like after the, like right now, why am I so sore? It's like my body's been through a lot. That's why somebody was asking me the other day, it was yesterday or something. And one of the top guys, he was asking why this other top guy can't do what I'm doing. He's trying, but he's not getting it with the sales and outreach and whatever. And I'm like, what I thought to tell him, I was like, dude, I'm 10 years older than him. I have a lot of life experience that's invisible to everybody right now. Yeah. You don't know what I've been through. Like, and they've been through a lot too, but it's like, being the captain of IMC, it's not like this is the first time I'm a captain of something. Yeah. This is not the first time I'm the top at something. And it's because I just sacrifice everything. Like, that's why I can say, if a girl has any attitude around me, get the fuck away from me. Because I got 1,000 other things I'd rather be doing than dealing with any kind of attitude from a woman. Any kind of attitude from anybody. But that's a symptom of a winner. And so that's why I can do that. Somebody who's not a winner and tries to do that and just mimic because they hear it, it's not going to work out too well for them. So I go in, I lay down my mat, and I'm hanging out. I'm kind of a little late. I'm not early like I normally am. So I got to go use the restroom, change really quick, go back, and it's going to be right in time to start. No warming up for me, which is fine. I've done that before. Like, it's no big deal. I just go easy. And I always go easy. Bikram, I don't push hard. But I'm thinking, man, I don't want to be here. I want to do my own yoga in the park. None of my guys are here. Why am I here? I'm not that fond of yoga. What I was saying is the other day on like my second gym day, I was really sore and I went to Bikram. My guys were there and I went and I felt great after.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah. Like, and it's me as a practitioner, how I do it, but I'm doing the poses that they're instructing for the duration they're instructing. Like, so it's a dope secret. It's a dope whole thing with the temperature and the cleanliness of the room and the predictability of it. So it has its place for me. But I don't want to just go and do it. And so I'm in the locker room and I just use the restroom. I'm like, you know, there's a part of me that's like thinking I'm being a bitch for not wanting to be here. But then there's a part of me saying, I want to do my workout the way I want to do it. What the fuck?
Exactly.
So I literally go back and I tell the teacher something just came up. I got to go. It was a lie.
I love that.
And I go and I roll up the mat. I go in the room. They're about to start and it's hot in there. Everybody's doing their stretches. The people around me, they know me. And so the girl, or she's lady, she's like 45 or something, maybe even older. And I'm rolling up the mat. And she's like, you got to go. And I was like, yeah, something happened. I give her this phone signal. So I'm like, no, I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm feeling like, man, did I really need to say all that? Because I'm like, you just lied. You say lied. So I roll it up. I go. And I ride home and just like divine timing, really. Everything's in divine timing. The time it takes me to get back, I come in, I grab a bite, I put food or water in the jug, I grab what I need, my supplies, I go get on my bike, like the wind, 4.5 miles in 18 minutes uphill, and then lay out my mat. Or my blanket, do my yoga, ride back. Ends up being similar macro burning to a Bikram class. My intention was to get and be able to do yoga for 20 minutes. And I'm thinking my legs are going to be burning, my back's going to be burning. It's going to be, well, I'll be warmed up, but I mean, it's very repetitive motion. You're not going to, your poses are going to be different after 4.5 mile pumping your legs like that. You're not going to be as open and plus then you're going to get back on your bike and pump your legs again. So you don't want to get too like elongated. There's a big potential for like pulling a muscle or even tearing something because your hamstrings will be real wound up, different than if you just like were walking into a yoga class.
Really?
Yeah. And I would experience that too. Riding to Bikram was 4.5 miles, but it's a hot yoga class, 105. And it's not like vinyasa because it's stop and go each pose. So I still had to be aware of that with how tight my legs were going into the yoga, not trying to push my hamstring stretches too much in the beginning. But so I go, anyway, I get there so fast and I have like 32 minutes to do yoga and I do it, whatever, I come back. That was vinyasa. And I get there and man, the flow, and I knew these sequences and I was so familiar with the order of poses, what my body needed as a bicyclist, because our bicycling is forward bending and not fully extending your knees because my seat isn't that high.
What did you need?
Well, I just needed the balance. I needed balancing for that.
Over like the poses that you briefly did.
I mean, it was vinyasa. I did too many poses to count.
Okay.
But, you know, there were some peak poses, like this one pose I invented, the down dog kind of side bend, the three-legged, it's like a three-legged dog where you kick the leg over in a back bend, but I turn my standing foot out to the side like it was a side plank. So it's like a side plank down dog with the leg kicking out. So you're like in a back bend, side bend kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very counterbalancing for bicycling because it stretches your psoas and your abs. It's like the opposite of sitting on a bike.
Yeah.
And couple belly back bends. But those were the peak poses. So I was going through the sun salute B, some other standing poses and little variations in there that I just know so fluidly, and the way I act, oh man, it's just, I'm so good. And maybe sometimes I'll teach that to the guys. That was the medicine for what I needed right then versus kin stretch or muscle activations or whatever. That's, I could make any of those work for myself in that kind of situation. But with my blood pumping and the long bike ride and whatever, like vinyasa made sense right there. The temperature was outside. So that's kind of like what I would teach at the art center is what is appropriate for then. And in a lot of cases, especially if fighters are coming through, like they're gonna be exhausted, tight, they're not open like me. Like vinyasa is not the thing that, like, I don't see that being the remedy most of the time.
Right.
So the things that I'll be teaching, if a yoga practitioner comes in, may not appear like yoga to them. but I also don't want to call it physical therapy class because that's like a branded thing that, you know, the
Right,
government's involved with certifications and whatever. And
Just yoga.
yeah, I can't call it healing. Well, you can't say healing and things like,
Yeah,
so yeah, it's yoga, but also I want to distinguish it from like yoga. So
Totally.
beast yoga. So that's kind of what it will be, but it's going to be very similar to all the classes you've ever received online. It's
Yeah.
just going to be a little bit slower and with whoever's there and adjusting their movements and whatever. And
Will
very
you be there
supportive.
or no?
Hmm? What? I mean, if you want to be around my guys doing yoga, it's going to be a weird situation. Maybe if you get some girls together, maybe we can have a time slot that we go and have like a ladies class there.
Okay, I can do that for sure.
Yeah, or even like a ladies workshop, we can have a 2-hour slot or something. Maybe if we got them to pay like 40 bucks, it's gonna be tough to get bitches to pay for yoga like that.
At a real place they would, but online it's really tough.
No, they can come in person.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what they
in
should do.
person.
So, and then the wrestling, I'm real excited about because I see that we're guys at the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and I know these guys. I mean, I'm not even going to need to get advanced in wrestling to be able to help them. We're good because I'm like 15 years out of wrestling, so it's like, you know, how advanced am I going to be? But it'll be good. 4 classes. So I go. Oh, and so, yeah. I mean, that was the gist of the Bikram where I went and I left, and that's what I was going to say.
That's dope. I think that's such a dope story. I love that about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's dope about it? What do you like so much about it? Now I'm curious.
Well, like especially that because you were able to discern like that it wasn't weak for you to not follow through with the class, but strong of you to follow on the inner urge of like actually like your inner guidance. It's not your mind, you know for certain like what your heart is seeking. I know this sounds kind of goofy, but like you know what your heart is seeking in that moment. And so even though like
Sort of,
you're-
yeah, that
you're
sounds kind of gay.
disciplined-
I knew what was right.
Yeah,
I knew what was right for me. What was wrong about it is that I should have known none of my guys' vehicles are here. I should just not go in and cancel the class. I paid for it. Because I ended my unlimited thing, so I have a 10 class pass, and then after a certain time you can't unregister. So that, you know, I ended up using one of my classes, it was like 25 bucks.
Geez.
So whatever. So I paid for that. And that was part of the measurement. Man, but then it's like money. Am I gonna do what I don't want to do so that I don't lose $25?
so
Because losing 90 minutes of my life is worse than $25. Take the $25. I'll take my 90 minutes of life. Get it? So that can't be in the equation. It's only in the equation if you allow it to be in the equation. And then that's you can allow it, but don't forget your seniority over that variable. That's not a variable on your decision. You don't have to make decisions based on money. That's the person that's worshiping money
that
or
I
comfort.
kind of felt like that last night at work where they were just kind of all arguing about who was gonna take tables, and I was just like, I'll gladly go home right now. And then they were like, really, you'll go home? And I was like, yeah. And I realized like in that moment that like for me, my time was worth more than these other servers arguing about tables. And I was just, you know, I told you I wanted to be home, like editing my photos, and it just felt really good and right.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's called valuing yourself. And with composure.
Yeah.
And not being all emotional about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's just knowing. See, you just knew what was right. It doesn't have to be like, you know, what your heart desired, that kind of language. It's just you knew what was right.
Yeah.
So
I made a flowery.
yeah. So this is almost over. I just wanted to give this one little point that you can you know, a little wordplay. I think I've said it before, but I'll just say it again so you guys can see if you like the idea. It's not necessarily something you'll be able to use, this wordplay I'm about to give you. Like you're not going to use it in your speech when you talk to people, but it is something maybe to think about. Okay, so we all have the idea of an outfit. Like, what's your outfit today? Do you have you know, is your outfit matching? Is that a fresh new outfit? You know, so when you think of outfit, it's like what? Your clothes, your shoes, like how you put yourself together. It's your outfit. So what about your infit? You knew I was going to say that, huh?
It's one of my favorite silent teaching.
Okay, so what about your infit? Are you matching inside? you know? It's your state of mind that you bring to the situation or to life, to your day, to those activities. Like, you know, you would put your outfit together before you go to the store. Did you put your infit together? That's what like the morning process is putting your infit together. You know, that's kind of the nighttime process is taking, it's almost like taking off your infit. You got to take off your outfit, but you're taking off your infit too.
Yeah.
You're stripping down.
Yeah.
Because the infit is still something you're putting together, but that's what you do to serve the world. You have an infit, you have an attitude and a framework and things that you're filtering through. In lockdown, that's your private time. Now, let's say you may not leave your house much, or people may work from home, or so that's where mentally you have that switch on and off, where it's curtains up and it's lockdown. So you go from a morning process into service, and then you got to have that distinction. Otherwise, the day just kind of bleeds together, and you drift and roam around, wander through your day. Just a clear distinction. Like I'm from lockdown into curtains up into service, and then from service at night at some point I'm locking down now. And it's like, okay, now I'm shutting down. I'm taking off my outfit. I'm taking off my infit. I'm doing things that just nurture and rejuvenate. And then we have deep processes that go deep with that stuff. It's not just watching something you enjoy, listening to something you enjoy, eating something you enjoy. What?
I wanted, well, and maybe this, my favorite lockdown activity lately has been this teaching from the silent flute with the eye relaxation video, where you warm up the palms and then you warm them and then you do the eye stretches before bed. It's just incredible.
Now, when I do that, I go very slow.
Okay.
Like my favorite one is just the circle around the perimeter.
Yeah.
And I go very slow.
Okay.
And I look like as if you were at the eye doctor and you had to read. Like I look the whole way. My eye is focused on the perimeter of my vision, as if I had to read something. And yeah, so I go slow. I'll go in both directions. I don't do it often, but when I do it, I really clean through the whole range of motion of the eye. And yeah, that's great. Okay, so that's the point. That's what I say to everybody. I was streaming this to my Ninth Limb YouTube channel. A bunch of people watched it, and so they got a story. Zoom guys, they got what it is. So that's the idea of infit. What's up? You're looking more mature, Saber. A little bit older. Maybe it's the hair. So right on. Looking forward to seeing you out here in San Jose again. Real Fam is on Instagram. You guys are you're almost a base. You guys are 3 of you in a base, but you're not officially a base because I don't know, you don't want to be a base. I don't know what's stopping you. Maybe it's because one of you isn't that committed, not you, the other guy, the lawyer guy. And then, you know, but that has potential right there. You're in that situation. I don't know, you don't want to commit to it, but that would be really cool to be like base 6 Sacramento. Man, that would be awesome. Careful, that's not that strong. Okay. That's all, everybody. Think about that. Outfit, infit, and the warrior arts training, beast yoga, and come to it with some ideas.